should have worn short sleeves hot, and no. It was more like it's August in Ethiopia hot. Growing up, I remember sitting in their living room, sweating, and trying to figure out my relation to these people who not only didn't seem to share my same environmental needs, but who had also reached an age I could barely comprehend. But my grandparents firmly believed in the 3 F's of life: family, faith, and food. So every Sunday for 29 years, I bore the heat and religiously showed up for dinner.
The very day I turned 14, my father put me on a boat to America. In my pocket, he stuffed 200 lira and the address of a cousin in a place called Hoboken, New Jersey. The only words my father said to me, "Tengo familia." If you said that in English, it would mean, "I support the family." But in Italian, it means more, much more. I am a man. I am doing well for my woman and my children. I have a reason for being alive.
Tango for me.
I had arrived to learn that my cousin had left Hoboken for a faraway land called Brooklyn. So, for the next 6 weeks, I lived underneath a pier off the Hudson River. Every minute of every day, trying to figure out a way to earn enough money and to get back home.
I was the middle sister of 7 girls, and Frank. He was the first man to... No, he was the first person to ever notice me. He was making $1 a day as a carpenter's apprentice, and I thought that was a fortune. He promised that if I married him, he'd become a fine carpenter, and he would build for me, an entire house. And he did. He became a wonderful carpenter, and he built for me this beautiful home.
My grandmother, Aida, never made it through grammar school. Never even learned how to drive a car. The locker in the kitchen with tomato, pasta dough, and garlic, and the woman was Einstein. By my 29th birthday, my parents had moved to Florida, and my sister Melissa to San Diego. Before she left, Melissa told me, the best thing about being an American is that you can stay in the country and still move 2,000 miles away from your family. I stayed near my grandparents. Every Sunday, I rode a bus in from the city, but one Thursday, something happened to me. Something important. And what I had to tell them couldn't wait. Hey, Gramps. Hi, Danny!
Nick, your grandmother's going to ask you to do something for her. Refuse.
Nicholas! You have to do something for me. But first, you hungry?
No, Nan, I just ate, and I can only stay a few minutes. Like I said on the phone, I just have to make this announcement.
He has no time to do you any favors, Aida.
What did you have for dinner?
Chinese food.
Chinese?
Nan.
Oh, you're telling me that's food?
Well, everyone eating it seemed to think so, yes.
Boy, 30 years ago, I had dinner in a Chinese restaurant, and to this day, I have no idea what I ate. I'll make you food.
Nan, I'm full.
Fine, I'll make you a sandwich.
Nan.
You look hungry.
How? Tell me exactly how do I look hungry?
You are breaking my heart, Nicholas.
All right, all right. A small sandwich?
Well, what do you want on?
I don't care.
How about provolone and a ham?
Perfect.
Good. Nicholas, I'll make you a provolone and a ham sandwich. And you can tell your grandfather he can't drive!
Oh,
No! No. 2 days ago, the Grand Union parking lot, he puts the car in reverse and goes forward.
I thought the car was in second. I put it in reverse.
Right. Into a Japanese car. Thank God, no one was killed.
I barely dented a fender.
2 weeks ago, 7-Eleven. He means to step on the brake. He steps on the
We
gas
go
pedal.
very fast for about 2 feet.
Right into a Japanese car. Thank God, no one was killed.
Gramps, we've talked about this. You shouldn't be driving.
You're telling me what to do. I used to change your diapers.
You told me and I appreciate it.
He never changed your diapers. Then
Gramps, it's just too dangerous with you behind the wheel.
I get in the car with him. I scream the entire way. Ah!
She's a real pleasure to drive.
All right. Nan, why don't you go make the sandwich and I'll talk to him? And could you turn on the air conditioner? It is sweltering in here.
That's crazy. It's only 2.
But it's hot.
The air conditioner does not go on until the 4th of July.
I'll open the window. You, listen to your grandson.
Come on, Gramps, you know something terrible could happen.
I have to drive their grandmother to the
She
store.
can walk. Take the
I'll
bus.
be go close
And
by.
you still get into accidents.
So what? They're saying I'm too old to drive.
No, your reflexes are just getting a little slow.
I'm out of provolone. Cheddar Munster.
Whatever, man.
I want to make it the way you like it.
How can you make it the way I like it when I don't even want it?
Hey, don't talk fresh. Cheddar or Munster?
Cheddar.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely 100% I want cheddar, man.
But I got such nice Munster.
This is the woman you're listening to, so I can't drive.
All right, man, Munster. I want Munster.
I thought so.
Gramps, I just don't want to get a phone call saying you hurt yourself, or Nan, or somebody else.
My first car, 1941 DeSoto. Cost $53 more than I could possibly spend. But once I laid eyes on it, black leather inside, chrome steering wheel, dashboard, the most beautiful sight I ever saw. Belisa. I worked days, nights, shoveling coal in the summer restaurant furnace so I could get that 53. And the once I did, once I actually sat behind that dashboard and held that perfect new steering wheel in my hand, I knew I could make a life for my family. If I could afford this car, I could make a life for my family. Tango Familia.
Thank you.
I have another set.
Just promise me you'll only drive in an emergency,
Yeah.
okay?
I was the first in my family to get a good job with a union at a Ford's automobile factory. And the way I got the job, see, I told them I was Irish. Hey, I had to, because in those days, the most famous Italians in America were the Pope, Sacco, and Vanzetti. Did they look at us and think, Pope? Nah, Sacco and Vanzetti.
My father's folks, Nunzio and Emma, they lived 2 doors down, and every Sunday they'd also visit and share dinner. Both children of hard-working but destitute immigrants. They married at 17 and had 2 sons. My dad and his brother Nick, who was killed in Korea.
The day I married Nunz, my mother sat me down and told me something amazing. She said, Emma, just because you're his wife does not mean you're not as important as him. Speak up. Say how you feel. Do not become one of those women who gets lost behind their family.
So I told Fords my name was Ian Sean O'Malley O'Brien O'Sullivan. And they gave me the job.
And while Nunz went to work, I made for us a beautiful life at home.
I stood on an assembly line for 27 years putting